Hi all, and welcome back to the neighborhood. Today, we're taking a look at the ETA Mini Semi-Closed headphones. This is a relatively new company, started by a guy that used to hang out on my Discord, and another guy who used to work for Odyssey. Am I impressed with what they're doing now? Let's get into it. So ETA makes 3D printed headphones at Current, the O2, an open back headphone, and two versions of the Mini, a closed and a semi-closed. I'll place a link in the description below to their website so you can take a look and see what they're all about. These are basically a DIY headphone that I hope one day will have a sophisticated build. For now, the build is what I would call rustic and egalitarian. The cups, constructed of a 3D printed carbon-filled polymer filament, do feel somewhat sturdy, but still come across as being almost too lightweight and potentially prone to some divots in the finish. And I know they claim that these are semi-closed, but for all intents and purposes, assume that you're getting an open back, because the printed mesh portion of the cup appears to be entirely open, and sound does blare out when playing music. They may be less open than their O2 headphones, but these are semi-closed in name only. With regard to fit for me, these are over-ears, but I could see how they might become on-ears for someone with larger than medium-sized earlobes. To use the Zeos measurement system, these have an internal cavity that's 3 knuckles tall by at least 2 knuckles wide. Even so, the cups are angled rather nicely to accommodate the angle of the human ear, so they fit rather comfortably on the head. With that said, the yokes on these are constructed of a plastic that is notably cheaper than that of the cups, and this doesn't necessarily inspire confidence for longevity. But they did hold up well in the few days that I had the headphones in for review. The pads themselves are shaped like Sony MDR7506 pads, and feel like Brainwave's perforated replacement ear pads for that headphone. ETA headphones also share a similar headband to the Sony MDR7506, but someone had notably bent the headband to make it fit this headphone more ergonomically for its wearer. I'm uncertain if ETA did this themselves, or if someone on the review tour did this prior to my receipt of the headphone. But by judging from other images and videos online, I might hazard a guess that ETA did this themselves prior to sending out the unit for the tour. Nevertheless, the headband was comfortable, even if it was aesthetically a bit janky looking. Inside the cups, the driver's angled towards the wearer's ear canal with a metal grill covering the driver and blue felt covering the inside baffle underneath the ear pad. The bottom of each ear cup makes use of a dual-pole 3.5mm jack, and these come with a cloth-covered cable that terminates in a straight, metal 3.5mm with a rubberized strain relief. I'm not sure where they got the cable from, but I really like it, and it's probably my favorite part of this build. It has absolutely zero memory, is sleek feeling in the hand, is constructed mostly of metal hardware, and has an integrated rubberized chin slider at the metal Y-split. I ended up buying this cable separately for my HiFiMan and other headphones. A case is not provided with the Mini Semi-Closed, but 2 bags are, one for the headphone and one for the cable, and an additional 3.5mm to 1/4-inch adapter is provided as well. Even though a case is not provided, these will be an excellent headphone for portable use scenarios because they are extremely lightweight, fold up into themselves, have an easily managed detachable cable, and are easily powered off almost any device. While I like these best, ran off the Bravo Audiophile tube amplifier on my desk, they also sounded quite excellent powered by the Tantrum Space dongle off my phone. But let's talk about the sound, because what this thing lacks in the looks department, it makes up for it with the sound. Timbre is mildly dry, slightly warm, but still within the range of neutrality. Note weight is robust and somewhat thick. Images are presented in a rather intimate way, but the soundstage is larger than average for this type of presentation. Separation is also above average, as is instrument distinction. Still, the sound is very cohesive, and general presence levels were track appropriate or what I would expect. Decay is extremely natural, dynamics are engaging, and transients are exceptional. Sounds hit, fall off, and sustain as they should. And this is a notable strength of this set that sets it apart from its competition. In terms of the sound profile, this is a slightly mid-forward set with excellent vocal isolation, a thumpy, somewhat mid-bass emphasized low end, and a slight roll to the treble. It not only looks like a monitor visually, but also has a monitor-like sound. And unlike some monitors, which tend to bore their listeners, the Mini S keeps its listener engaged. And don't get me wrong, although I mentioned that these are somewhat mid-bass emphasized with stellar dynamics, they are not an unbalanced sound. There's actually a surprising amount of sub-bass here and just enough treble as well, for what I would call a full representation. Details were also excellent, both in the center and in the periphery. But if I had one gripe about the Mini S beyond its lackluster DIY style build, it would be that its level of resolve and resolution really isn't up to the task that its price suggests. At a price of $499, ETA is aiming pretty high with the price of this thing. While I understand that these are a bespoke product, they are built more like something a modder would put together in his garage than something that a true headphone company would produce. Not to mention, at this price, one can get something like the R70X or Dan Clark Audio Aeon Open X from Drop, each of which will surpass the ETA in both build and resolve. And while they are certainly more difficult to obtain these days, the original mod, Mark II Argons, are cheaper to produce and produce a more resolving sound than this set. And I will admit that all of those headphones generally require more power to drive than the Mini S does. I will also note that I enjoyed the Mini S best off some of the same sources that I preferred to drive those headphones on. But in the case of these other cans, they sound more exacting and more high-end off-said sources. Others have promoted the ETA Mini S as a better resolving Sennheiser HD650, but for the $500 price of the Mini S, one could buy the HD6XX and the iFi 6XX signature amp and get a more high-end sound in a desktop environment. Even so, the Mini S did exceed the performance of each of these other headphones in terms of portability, ease to drive, sophisticated dynamics, and complex reproduction of transients. So I really think the ETA Mini S are a great sounding set, but a bit of a niche headphone for people that are after a portable solution with a certain sound quality off of almost any source. Audiophiles who value dynamics and transients over ultimate resolve are surely to like this one, especially if they're up for a lightweight, detailed headphone with intimate but also stellar imaging. With that said, it's a bit too warm and its note weight is a bit too thick to be considered truly reference, even if it's approaching a reference tuning otherwise. Like a sleeper in street racing, these pack more of a punch under the hood than their exterior suggests. But I still think ETA should work on improving the fit and finish of this set, as it's a bit too much of a prototype or proof of concept build at current. If they can improve the build while simultaneously lowering the price, they're surely to have a future winner on their hands. At a price of let's say $350, I'd become a customer. But their aspirations are a bit lofty at $500 when it comes to earning my buck. Still, I applaud this small new company for what it's doing and look forward to adjustments from them in the future. I should also be on the tour for their O2 headphone in the near future as well. So if you're interested in reviews of their headphones or other audiophile products, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications in order to get alerted when I upload future videos. Also consider liking the video here on YouTube if you enjoyed its content, and follow the links in the description to other neighborhood access locations like Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, or the website, and give me a follow there as well. And with that, I'm out for now.